When you're first learning Spanish, it's completely normal to apply English sounds to Spanish words. But the good news is that sounding more like a Spanish speaker doesn't mean years of training. Most of the changes you'll learn in this video are small, simple tweaks that you can put into practice straight away. It will really surprise you how you can hear the difference instantly. By making these small, simple tweaks, your Spanish will sound more natural, people will understand you more easily, and it will put a stop to those frustrating moments where someone replies to you in English the second that you open your mouth. Now, if you're new here, my name's Josh. I'm a qualified language teacher and I've helped thousands of people learn Spanish through my online course here on YouTube. Okay, so let's get into it. So the first sound that we're going to look at is the letter E, and it's a really simple change that you can make. When we're using Spanish words when chatting in English, the Spanish E takes on an A sound. For example, you might be looking at going on holiday to Mexico and you need to convert your money into Mexican pesos. Now, pesos is a word that a lot of us are familiar with, as a lot of Latin American countries use that currency. But pesos is not how it's pronounced in Spanish. The E in Spanish is more like the E we have in the English word bed. It's a short E sound. Bed. E. Bed. So some other well-known Spanish words that English speakers pronounce with an A sound are queso, meaning cheese, and café, meaning coffee. So these should be pronounced queso and café with that short E sound for the E. Queso, café. The second sound we're going to look at is for the Spanish O. It's a really common for English speakers to get this sound wrong, and it's a dead giveaway that you're an English speaker. So if we go back to the word peso, said with an English pronunciation, we see that not only do we pronounce the E as an A sound, but the letter O at the end has an O sound. Peso. The Spanish O will never be pronounced like that. Just like the Spanish E, the Spanish O only ever has one sound, and that's O. It's the same short O sound that we have in the word not. Not, O, not, O. If you focus on the shape of your lips when saying the word not, you can see that the lips are rounded when you pronounce the O sound. This is the only way that the Spanish O is pronounced. Another example could be Mexico. See how we end the word Mexico with the O sound in English. Now in Spanish, the pronunciation is with an O sound. So Mexico becomes Mexico. Mexico. It's a short, sharp O sound. Mexico. So if you want to practice the E and the O sounds in Spanish, try saying this simple phrase, no es bueno, which means it's not good. Listen to the vast difference between the incorrect English pronunciation and the correct Spanish pronunciation. As a beginner with an English accent, you might say no es bueno with those O and A sounds. No es bueno. But with just a small tweak to those two sounds, we get a much cleaner Spanish sounding sentence. No es bueno. E and O. No es bueno. No es bueno. So pause the video and give it a go yourself. Now the third example we're looking at is the mix-up between the Spanish B and V. As an English-speaking beginner in Spanish, you're probably pronouncing these two letters the same way as they're pronounced in English. Now, not only is the pronunciation of these two letters different in Spanish, but the letters B and V only have one single sound in Spanish. In standard Spanish, there is no difference in sound between the letters B and V. They're pronounced exactly the same. The pronunciation of Spanish B and V doesn't exist in English, unfortunately, so it's a new sound that you have to learn. But the good news is that it's not difficult to make. The only thing that is difficult is getting used to saying the sound when you're in the middle of speaking. To make the B and V sound, you have to imagine that you're going to make the English B sound, but don't fully close your lips. So here's some examples. Say them along with me. So we have la bota, la vaca, el barco, el vaso. Remember that there's no difference in pronunciation between B and V. They're both exactly the same. Now, one thing to note is that you will hear B and V pronounced more like an English B with closed lips when it's at the beginning of an utterance or after the letters M and N. But I wouldn't worry too much about that as a beginner, as it can be a bit confusing. So for now, concentrate on nailing that B and V sound that I showed you in the examples. Now, the fourth sound we're looking at is the Spanish D. The Spanish D is a lot softer than the English D. The good news is that it's not difficult to make the Spanish D sound, as it's a sound that we actually already have in English using the letters TH. Now, in English, there are two ways to pronounce TH. The first is the TH that we get in the word think. It's made by placing the tongue between the teeth and pushing air through. So it's a th sound. Think. Th. Think. Now, the second way to pronounce TH in English is again with the tongue placed between the lips, but this time we don't push any air through. Think of the word this in English. This. See how we don't push any air through as we say the word this. Now, that TH sound in this is how we pronounce the Spanish D. So again, it's not difficult to make the Spanish D sound, but the only thing that will be difficult is getting used to saying it when you're midway through a sentence. So some example words could be los dedos, la duda, la ducha. See how the Spanish D is so much softer than the English D. Having said that, just like B and V, when the letter D is at the start of an utterance, or when it comes after the letters N or L, then you'll hear it pronounced more like an English D, okay? But even then, it's still a lot more softer than in English. The fifth sound that we're going to look at is the Spanish G. This is another one that's a lot softer than the English G. Now, there are two G sounds in Spanish. There's the one that comes before the letters E and I, and it's pronounced like an English H. This sound is referred to as the soft G sound. But what we're concentrating on in this video is the hard G sound. This is the G sound in Spanish words when the G is followed by either an A, an O, or a U. In English, when we pronounce the hard G, our throat closes. What happens is that the back of the tongue touches the roof of the mouth and stops the air for a moment before the sound releases. Although the throat closes ever so slightly in Spanish when saying the hard G, the tongue doesn't touch the roof of the mouth, so the restriction in airflow doesn't happen like it does in English, and this produces a much softer G sound. Here are some example Spanish words with the letter G. So, lugar, aguja, juego, tigre. Now, just like with the letters B, V and D, there is a difference in the pronunciation of the G sound at the start of an utterance and after the letter N. In this case, the G is much more forceful, similar to how the English pronunciation is. Here's some example words. Gato, gota, grande, tengo, domingo. So the key thing to take away is that in Spanish, the hard G is always softer than in English, even though it can get a little stronger at the start of an utterance or after the letter N. By keeping your throat relaxed and letting the sound come from the back of your mouth without blocking the air, your G will sound so much more natural in Spanish. The sixth letter that we're looking at is the Spanish letter ñ, and it's one that even advanced speakers mess up as it's often taught wrong in schools and textbooks. The letter ñ is not an N with an accent mark above it, but it's actually its own letter. It's the 15th letter of the Spanish alphabet. Now, you'll see all over the internet and in course books that the pronunciation of this letter is like the NY sound in the English word canyon, and this really really annoys me because it's wrong. Now, if you were to write the sound of the nye phonetically, you probably would spell it ny, like in canyon. But there's a key difference. In canyon, the N and Y are part of two separate syllables, can and yun. But that's not how nye works in Spanish. The nye is actually one sound in a single syllable. A better way to think of it is like the ny sound in the British English pronunciation of renew. Phonetically, that might be written like this. Notice how the ny is part of one syllable in new. It's not split across two syllables like in canyon. We would never pronounce renew as ren-you, like in the word canyon. That ny sound in renew is one smooth sound inside the second syllable. So let's look at the nye in a famous Spanish word, mañana. Even advanced speakers often mispronounce it as mañana, separating the N and Y sounds like in canyon. Mañana. But instead, the correct pronunciation is mañana. The second syllable has the ny sound. Ma-nya-na. Ma-nya-na. So paired with the 5 vowels, the nye sounds like nya, nye, ni, ño, ñu. Let me show you some other Spanish words containing the nye. So we have año, año, niño, niño, señor, señor, España, España. So the nye is pretty simple really, it's just a case of being taught the right pronunciation. By the way, you can review all of the information that we're covering in today's video by downloading the free PDF that I've created to accompany this video. The link to it is down in the description below. Now, the 7th sounds that we're looking at are P, T, and K. These are also a real giveaway that you're an English speaker. But the thing is, if you get these sounds right, you're going to sound so much more like a native Spanish speaker. Now, the P and T sounds are only ever written with a P and T in Spanish, but the K sound can also be written with a C or a QU in Spanish. Now, when we say the sounds P, T, and K in English, there's a short burst of air that comes out of our mouths. Try holding your hand an inch away from your mouth and say those sounds. P, T, K. Now, the difference is that when you say these sounds in Spanish, you don't want any air to come out of your mouth. You might still feel a tiny bit come out, but nothing compared to when we say these sounds with an English pronunciation. Listen to this Spanish sentence spoken with an English accent. ¿Por qué estás tan cansado? ¿Por qué estás tan cansado? Can you hear those little bursts of air after the P, T, and K sounds? Now listen to me say it with proper Spanish pronunciation. ¿Por qué estás tan cansado? ¿Por qué estás tan cansado? The difference is huge. Just by stopping that burst of air from coming out of your mouth, your Spanish improves so much, it's incredible. Let's try it together with some English and Spanish words. If you put your hand to your mouth and say the English word paper, you can feel those little bursts of air. Paper, paper. Now try saying the Spanish word for paper, which is papel, papel. You should feel next to no air come out of your mouth when you say it in Spanish. Papel, papel. Now again, try it with the T sound this time. Put your hand to your mouth and say tomato, tomato. You'll feel those little bursts of air on the T sounds. It's not quite as much as the P sound, but you can definitely feel it. Tomato, tomato. But now try saying tomato in Spanish, which is tomate, tomate. Put your hand to your mouth and ensure that no air comes out as you say it. Tomate, tomate. Okay, so let's now try it with the k sound. Try putting your hand to your mouth and say cocoa in English to fill those bursts of air. Cocoa, cocoa. Now try saying it in Spanish. Cocoa, cocoa. You should feel next to no air coming out of your mouth as you say it. Cocoa, cocoa. So by stopping that burst of air on the p, t and k sounds, your Spanish improves dramatically and you sound so much more like a native speaker. Now, the best way to really master these sounds is to practice them inside real sentences so they come out naturally and confidently when you speak. That's exactly what my Spanish Sentence Builder course for beginners is designed to do. It walks you step by step to build full Spanish sentences from the very first lesson using the most common words in context. You can start it for free right here on YouTube by clicking the thumbnail that's on screen now or by clicking the link that's in the description. So, thanks so much for watching and I'll see you next week.